We got ourselves an NL battle between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Philadelphia Phillies here at Citizens Bank Park, as the Diamondbacks trying to avoid the sweep here in the three-game set. Phillies won games 1 and 2. Vince Velasquez on the mound for Philadelphia. He's having a very average year, 3-3 with a 3.5 ERA. Not bad, but not good. As here's Nick Williams, his first bat against his former team, who traded him a couple weeks ago. He'll ground out to Cesar Hernandez. 2 outs for David Peralta. He would draw a walk. And then the batter after that, Jake Lamb, looking at a tough pitch. So now 2 on, 2 out for Wilmer Flores, who's played here many times since he was a part of the Mets for a while. He'll fly that one out into center, so Velasquez gets out of the jam. Taijuan Walker on the mound for the Diamondbacks, former Seattle Mariner, is 4-2 with a 2.7 ERA. He's been the most consistent pitcher on this staff, and he has some damn nice hair. As David Peralta with a nice catch, and then 2 outs for Bryce Harper, more blind than Helen Keller. I don't know what he was swinging at. It was a very rough day for Bryce Harper. Second inning for Eduardo Escobar, as that one would drop in the right center gap for first base hit of the day for either team. And then Christian Walker swinging at an ugly pitch. Definitely lucky for Vince Velasquez. And then the Phillies turn the 5-4. Nope! As the second baseman Cesar Hernandez makes a bad throw, but it wouldn't matter as Gene Segura would avenge it, and the Diamondbacks would not score there in the second inning. Bottom 2 for Maikel Franco, who would go down on the four-seam fastball. Nice pitch from Walker. Third inning now as Nick Williams places that one nicely in right center field. The Phillies acquired Alex Avila as well as Nick Castellanos in that deal. Castellanos coming from Detroit. Avila coming over from these Diamondbacks. As Jake Lamb, you better double-check that idea as he check swings there. Andrew McCutchen, the former NL MVP, going down swinging. And then Wilmer Flores would join the strikeout club. Here is Christian Walker. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's a bomb. That one was higher than J.R. Smith during Game 1 of the NBA Finals, as that one was in the air a long time, and the shutout is broken here in the fourth inning. Might I add, Taijuan Walker still has a perfect game. Nicely hit ball right there from Philadelphia as Cesar Hernandez would get to first in time. I didn't know if they called an error or not, but I do think it's the right call, as it was clearly a base hit. Lamb just made a nice play. However, Joseph would catch Cesar Hernandez stealing, so Hernandez is out anyway, and then Bryce Harper would strike out on another cutter. Fifth inning for Adam Jones, the leadoff man, gets that one through the middle just a little. Maikel Franco and Gene Segura can't make the play on that one. And then Nick Williams hits that one in pretty much an identical spot to his last hit, as Adam Jones, he is rounding third, headed home, and he is barely safe at the plate. And the Diamondbacks would double their lead. It's now 2-0, as David Peralta would go down swinging on the high fastball. Bottom 5 for Rhys Hoskins, ripping a base hit into center field, so the Jake Lamb play doesn't really matter, and the Phillies would get another base hit anyway. 2 on, 1 out for Odubel Herrera, who would go down swinging. And then Alex Avila taking on his former team, who just traded him a couple weeks ago. He would strike out. Wilmer Flores going down swinging once again. And then Christian Walker, he's just a window shopper because he's just looking. That did look like a ball, though. Interesting call. Here's Nick Castellanos on to pinch hit. Acquired, of course, by the Detroit Tigers in that 3-team deal, as he rips a base hit. But the Diamondbacks turn a 6-4 3-double play. Escobar to Flores to Christian Walker. Sixth inning for Cesar Hernandez. Perfectly placed pitch from Taijuan Walker, who's still pitching incredibly. Seventh inning now for Eduardo Escobar, ripping a base hit just down the left field line for a sliding double. So now 2 outs for Nick Williams, and that's Taijuan Walker who hit the double, not Eduardo Escobar. Nick Williams would fly out, so it doesn't really matter, as Bryce Harper swinging at another bad pitch, and he's pretty pissed off. Rhys Hoskins looking at the cutter, and Taijuan Walker still has a shutout going. Here's Maikel Franco swinging at an ugly slider. So it's still 2-0 as David Peralta going down on the slider. Nice pitch from Alvarez. Jake Lamb goes down looking also on a slider. Bottom 8, Odubel Herrera. and that one is blocked by Jake Lamb. Once again, a nice play by Lamb, but the runner is still safe at first. So 2 on, 1 out, and that one would drop for Drew Butera, the pinch hitter, as Nick Williams having trouble fielding it. Herrera would score. Alex Avila would advance to third, and that would end Taijuan Walker's day. He's clearly getting tired. Very good game from Taijuan Walker, and Andrew Chafin would head into the game as Chafin is not having a great year. 9.77 ERA. That is atrocious. And Gene Segura, he's shopping gap as that one would blow this game for Arizona, and the Philadelphia Phillies, just like that, would take a 3-2 lead. Sir Anthony Dominguez on for the save. He has a 1.77 ERA, and this would be his 20th on the year as Christian Walker going down on the swing. Ugly pitch to swing at from Caleb Joseph, and the Diamondbacks are down to their last out. It's Steven Souza Jr., the pinch hitter, who looks at that one, and the Philadelphia Phillies would sweep the Arizona Diamondbacks as they win by a score of 3-2. And then the very next day, Arizona headed down south to take on the Washington Nationals in a rainy day. As on the mound for the Nationals would be longtime Diamondback Patrick Corbin, who has been phenomenal the past few seasons with Arizona, signed a $100 million contract with Washington this offseason, and the Diamondbacks would love to get revenge on their former star pitcher. Let's see if they can do it as Eduardo Escobar draws a quick walk. Runner on for David Peralta. He rips that one high, but it would be caught by the right fielder. No damage done because Eduardo Escobar is running like a madman and didn't realize that a play would be made on that ball. I don't know what he was thinking. Luke Weaver on the mound for Arizona, part of the Paul Goldschmidt deal. He's not had a great year, as that one is shortly hit from Trey Turner. He's very fast, and he would be safe at first. Turner, one of the fastest players in baseball, however, it wouldn't really matter as Anthony Rendon would ground out into a 4-6-3 double play. And there goes Trey Turner being on base. As Nick Williams going down, swinging on the slider. Bottom 2 for Matt Adams. As that one, it really does not look like it's going to cross the fence. It looks like it's too high, and it barely does. It goes in the first row. The former St. Louis Cardinals' 5th home run of the year. He's hitting he's hitting 337. That's very un-Matt Adams-like. And then Howie Kendrick would ground into another 4-6-3 double play as the Diamondbacks have more chemistry than a science project. Third inning, a base knock for the Nationals, so 1 out, 1 on, and that wouldn't do anything. Yes, Ketel Marte, that's the pitcher. No, that's the top of the third. Luke Weaver hits a base hit. Ketel Marte gets a base hit, and Eduardo Escobar is plunked. So the bases are jacked for David Peralta, but the Nationals get 1 out at second, can't get Peralta out at first, and Luke Weaver would score. And this game is tied up at 1 as Jake Lamb must be under the influence. I don't know what he was swinging at. Caleb Joseph, who played his ball last year in Maryland with the Orioles, he would go down swinging. 4th inning now for Washington, as that one would go off of a wall for the Nationals. A 1-out double right there. And then Matt Adams would rip it into left. David Peralta just ran right by it. Very bad angle by Peralta, and that'll be a double for Matt Adams. And the Nationals would take a 2-1 lead as Luke Weaver hits that one, but Anthony Rendon getting dirty. Weaver would have been 2 for 2 had he gotten a base hit there. Is Ketel Marte going down on the curveball. And then Eduardo Escobar hitting that one high. And the center fielder, Adam Eaton, not even bothering to make a play on it, but it doesn't matter as David Peralta, who's barely hitting 200 on the year, would strike out. Wilmer Flores would go down on the high fastball. And Jake Lamb, he would hit that one off of the leg of Patrick Corbin. Corbin cannot make the play as Matt Adams just does not make an effort. So first when I see the Washington manager crossing his arms, I assume he's mad at Adams. The Patrick Corbin's a little bit banged up as that ball did deflect off of his leg. However, Corbin gave the thumbs up to the dugout, and he is A-okay to stay in the game, being a tough guy. As here's Anthony Rendon. That one is high and deep, and that one would be a dinger. But what I love about that play is the catcher in the bullpen just did not react. I don't get that. There's a ball traveling over 100 miles per hour right at him, and he doesn't even move. I find that hilarious. Whoever the Nationals bullpen catcher is a straight savage. As there is a strikeout for Brian Dozier. 7th inning now, Jared Dyson on to pinch hit. And he would rip a base hit into center field. So I guess the decision to put him in paid off. Ketel Marte rips that one into left field. Dyson headed to third base. So now runners on the corners with one out. Vidal Nuno would enter the game for Patrick Corbin. Nuno is another former Diamondback, so there's still some, I guess, a little bit of bad blood as Eduardo Escobar would pop out. The speedy Jared Dyson would barely make his way home as that one was awfully close, but Dyson did make it in time. So now it's 3-2 as Yoshi Hirano in the game, and this is when things started to get a little bit interesting. Is a nice double for Washington. So 1 on, 1 out, and that one would drop for a base hit in foul territory now, and a run would score, so it's now 4-2 Washington Nationals. Brian Dozier up, and he hits that one into the Arizona Diamondback bullpen for a Washington National dinger, and now they double their lead. It's now 6-4. That's Trey Turner, my bad. Turner hits that one in the Diamondbacks bullpen. So now top 8 Arizona trying to start a rally as Caleb Joseph will go down swinging. Here's Brian Dozier now as that one is awfully high, and that one would go off of the wall. Nick Williams can't make the play on it, and Dozier would get a 2-out double. And then the batter after that, Howie Kendrick. That one is awfully close, but it barely curves for a home run. The umpires would review this. I don't know why. It was clearly fair, and the play would stand, obviously, as that one was an obvious home run for the longtime MLB veteran utility man Howie Kendrick. As Sean Doolittle, the closer, onto the mound. I assume Washington was planning on putting him in, but it's a 6-point lead. And it's not really a save opportunity, but they still put him in anyway as Adam Jones strikes out, but does advance to first in time as a pinch hitter. Ketel Marte would strike out, Eduardo Escobar would strike out, and David Peralta would complete the hat trick as the Washington Nationals get the win by a final score of 2-8. Solid pitching performance from Patrick Corbin, allowing 2 earned and 6 1/3 inning in his first battle against his former team, and the Diamondbacks go down to 28-42.